So that's the idea, equal pressure. Now, the question is, how is that pressure added? Well, pressure is added by most single lip players by simply upward jaw pressure. And this is a very barbaric way to play the clarinet, to say the least. And it obscures many of the subtleties we're going to talk about in the upcoming sections. But when you add any kind of pressure when you're playing double lip, you don't change the opening or the jaw at all. There's no biting or closure at all. What you do is that you use your right hand thumb to gently and yet firmly keep the reed mouthpiece wedge snugged against both lips. So this equal pressure thing is really, really critical. And most of you will find if you try this, that you're not going to be able to succeed. You're going to say, I have to close down to make the sound. I've got to do more than this equal pressure. I've got to put more pressure here in the lower. All right, there's a reason for that, and we're going to talk about that next. So the reason you can't begin the sound without closing with the jaw is not because you're a bad person. And it's not because this is just not meant for you. It's because that your reed isn't properly balanced. What happens with reeds, when you play single lip and you're clamping, what you do is you obscure a lot of inequities in the reed, that when you try to play double lip, it becomes glaringly apparent that the reed is not matching properly on the facing of the mouthpiece. In double lip playing, it is absolutely essential that you play balanced reeds all the time. Double lip is not a system of controlling the sound by biting. It's a system of not biting. It's a system of using friction or snugging to control the reed with equal pressure on both lips. But in order to get equal pressure on both lips without closing, the reed itself has to be very, very well balanced from tip to back and side to side. And I just did a video on 3 simple steps to balancing reeds that will facilitate your efforts in playing double lip. Double lip is very easy to play, and it doesn't take a lot of strength or endurance if the reed is properly balanced, if the reed is made right. But you won't be able to play well double lip or play comfortably when you're playing the kind of reeds that you normally play as a single lip player. So it's incumbent on you to learn how to balance reeds, how to test reeds, and to do the whole thing. Without that, you're going to struggle, you're going to be frustrated, and your mechanics behind your nose is going to always frustrate you. The reed, it doesn't have to be made of pure spun gold or anything, or sent down by an angel from heaven. What the reed needs to be is properly balanced so you can play correctly and comfortably. Some reeds are going to be more talented than other reeds. Some reeds are just going to have better resonance and better cane. You can make every reed structurally correct if you know how to finish reeds, and that's what my reed system is all about. I highly recommend it because it's just hitting the head stupid easy to use, and it yields fantastic results. It's so fantastic that I sold my reed machines. I don't need those things because I've got this system that's so much better, and you have so much control over the finishing. But I digress here. The main thing is that the reed, whether it's a golden reed that you're going to play in Carnegie Hall, or whether it's just a random practice reed, the reed needs to be made correctly so you can play efficiently and it won't corrupt your mechanics. The hardest thing, or the worst thing, that prevents you from being able to develop and being able to make progress and have confidence in playing when you're playing French embouchure is that you don't have any control over the reeds. Now, I'm not going to talk about mouthpieces because if you don't have a symmetrical mouthpiece, you might as kiss it goodbye, okay? the facing has to be symmetrical. It doesn't have to be just a particular kind of curve and tip opening, but it does have to be symmetrical. That is, each rail has to be the same, so you can balance the reed like that. You can't, as skilled as I am, as long as I've done this, as skilled as I am with balancing reeds, I can't possibly balance a reed to minimum acceptability to play French embouchure with a crooked facing mouthpiece. It's going to frustrate you. Whatever particular thing you might think you get out of it, believe me, the cost in reed frustration, the cost in what it does to you behind your nose, what it forces you to do to make the thing work, and the inconsistencies that flow from that, are that the cost-benefit analysis just doesn't weigh out. So you're much better off to play symmetrical facing mouthpieces, because look, there's only one straight. With the reed, you're balancing straight to straight, and there's only one straight. But there's an infinite amount of crookeds. And when you're trying to balance a reed on a crooked facing, you're trying to put something crooked into the reed to match the crooked thing in the facing, so the thing will play right. And just moving the reed on the facing in the wrong way makes everything unbalanced again. So straight and straight, only one straight. G.K. Chesterton said a man stands erect at only one position, but he can fall in an infinite number of ways. So stand up straight with straight facings. So that's what you have to have with the reed. A balanced reed fitting on a symmetrical mouthpiece is much easier. Those are much more reed-friendly mouthpieces than crooked-facing mouthpieces, which are basically the enemy of the reed. All right, and I've explained this in other videos. If you want to peruse through the archives, I think you'll find some good information about matching reed and facing and all that. So anyway, that's what you must have. It's not an option. It's not something you can ignore and just start playing double lip, because if you do, you'll quit real soon, because it's doggone painful to try to play double lip and make the sound right when you're playing a mouthpiece reed combination that are totally mismatched. All right? So, what should you experience when you're playing a really balanced reed, tip to back, side to side, on a symmetrical facing mouthpiece? We're going to talk about that next.